we are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Yesterday we heard about Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Supreme Lord spoke to Brahma. 4 verses in which whole Bhagavatam is contained. Then we heard thus once upon a time the forefather of living entities and the father of religiousness, Lord Brahma, situated himself in acts of regulated principles, desiring self-interest for the welfare of all living entities. He, after getting all knowledge, then he started that creation for the service of Krishna. And then we also heard Narad, the most dear of the inheritor sons of Brahma, always ready to serve his father, strictly follows the instructions of his father by his mannerly behavior, meekness and sense control. That is proper disciple. He will follow the instructions of Guru and serve him. Mayam vividishan Vishnur ma yeshasya mahamuni mahabhagavato rajan pitaram parya toshayat. Narad very much pleased his father and desired to know all about the energies of Vishnu, the master of all energies. For Narad was the greatest of all sages and greatest of all devotees, O king. Here in commentary, Sai Maharaj is telling, Lord Brahma, being the creator of all living beings in the universe, is originally the father of several well-known sons like Daksha, the Chatuksanas, this means 4 Kumaras, and Narad. In 3 departments of human knowledge disseminated by the Vedas, namely fruitive work, Karma Kanda, transcendental knowledge, Jnana Kanda, and devotional service, Upasana Kanda. Devarshi Narad inherited from his father Brahma devotional service, whereas Daksha inherited from his father fruitive work, and Sanaka, Sanatan, etc. inherited from their father information about the Jnana Kanda, or transcendental knowledge. But out of them all, Narad is described here as the most beloved son of Brahma because of good behavior, obedience, meekness, and readiness to render service unto Father. And Narad is famous as the greatest of all sages because of his being the greatest of all devotees. Narad is the spiritual master of many famous devotees of the Lord. He is the spiritual master of Prahlad, Dhruva, and Vyas, down to the forest animal hunter Kirata. His only business is to turn everyone to the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, all these features of Narada make him the dearmost son of his father, and all this is due to Narada's being a first-class devotee of the Lord. The devotees are always anxious to know more and more about the Supreme Lord, the Master of all energies. In 11th Canto, Krishna tells that he made 3 paths for advancement of human beings. Other than these 3, there is no path for advancement. Karma Kand is for those who are seeking material benefits. If they have such desires, then they have to follow that Karma Kand rituals, and then that will gradually purify them to the point of Jnana, transcendental eternal knowledge that your spirit and being attached to matter and trying to enjoy these worldly things makes you suffer. So you have to be released from this. Then you will get liberation. You can be peaceful. But so those who have desire for liberation from material entanglement, they are eligible for Jnana Kant. But those who have awakened faith in Krishna, in his Harikatha, they are the only one eligible for bhakti. They must have that Shraddha, firm faith. Krishna is Supreme Lord. By serving him, all are served. And they may be on different levels, such devotees. So here, Daksha is propagator of Karma Kant. As later we will see, that is why he also committed offense to Shiva. Shiva is generally like a Jnani or also as a devotee. Renunciation, all this. So he committed offense. And for Kumaras, they are Jnanis, but they also became devotees when getting the scent of Tulsi offered to the lotus feet of Narayan. They got higher taste. And Narad is devotee. So here, you know, Dhruva is his disciple. Prahlad Maharaj in Wamp, Vyas, and that hunter. So you can see Guru can give knowledge in different ways, according to different time and person. Like he came to Dhruva and he told him what he should do and gave him certain mantra. But to Prahlad Maharaj, he just gave blessing that you will have devotion. That Vyasadeva also surrendered to him, and Narad gave him 4 verses, these 4 verses to meditate upon and to write SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, to clarify that the point of all Vedic scriptures is devotion to Krishna. Because Narad told people they will take you as authority and you have written Shastra for other goals, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So people will take your name that he prescribed. So that you have to correct you yourself. No one else can do. So you have to write about devotion. So he did in Bhagavatam. And that Mrigari, enemy of animals, hunter, he was so cruel in Tamoguna. Narad saw half dead animals in the forest. A rabbit, deer, tiger. They were in great pain, and half dead. About to, means before dying, they were bleeding out and so much suffering there. So Narad, then in short I'm telling, then he asked that Mrigari, you are doing this? Yes, I'm doing. So I want to request you something. Then Mrigari said, I can give you any deer skin if you want sadhus for asana or for cloth, or any tiger nail or whatever you want, I can give you. Then Narad said, no, I don't want these things. It is your hunter, so that is your profession. So because of that, you are getting less sin. Because it is your profession in killing, less sin. But why you don't kill them outright, fully you kill them. Why you are giving them unnecessary pain? For that you will have to suffer. Why you are killing them in this way? Then that Mrigari said, because when I see them suffering, when I hear their screams of pain, then I get much happiness. I'm more happy. So you see, that is tamaguna, totally opposite. So selfish and getting happiness and seeing the suffering of others. Then Narad said, you will have to suffer this yourself. So then Mrigari became afraid and he said, how I can be rescued? Then Narad said, first you have to break this bow by which you are doing this business. Then Hunter said, then how I will survive? Narad said, you don't worry, I will send you all food. What is required, I will send everything. You don't worry, you will break your bow. So because he had faith in Gurudev, he broke that bow, and Narad gave him Harinam, Mahamantra, and told him, you with your wife together, you should come here in the forest, in the cottage, you water Tulsi, bow down to Tulsi, serve Tulsi, and you chant Harinam, then you can be rescued. So Mrigari did, and wife also, and he was totally transformed. He became pure devotee, and because of that, all people were astonished. They wanted to take darshan of that so cruel person who now became pure devotee. So when you are going to sadhu, always you have to bring something. So they brought all rice, dal, sabji, ghee, spices, salt, everything they brought, fruits, milk, so much that they could not use. And daily they were getting. Then after 1 year, Narad Goswami came to see his disciple, how he's doing, together with Parvat Muni, his friend. Then when Mrigari saw Gurudev coming, he ran towards him, but very carefully he was stepping so as not to step on any ant or something on the ground. And before offering Dandavat to Gurudev, he put one cloth so that when he will do Dandavat, he should not crush any ant or something. Then Parvat Muni was astonished. Oh Narad, really you are Sparshamani. I can see practically. Sparshamani is a stone, philosopher's stone. If you touch by that stone, if you touch any iron, it will transform into gold. But Narad is Bhakti Sparshamani. If he will grace someone, then that person will be transformed into devotee. That power he has. He is Shakti Avesh Avatar, Narad, by this Bhakti. That is why you have also Narad Pancharatra, Narad Bhakti Sutra, all this. So Parvat said, I see. Before he was getting pleasure in seeing the suffering of animals. Now he cannot even commit any violence even to some the small like ants like this. So Narad I can see. So that is why Narad is the best, and he inquired from Brahma. Here Sai Maharaj is further telling from Gita, Mat chitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. This verse of Gita is one of the verses of Chatuh Shloki Gita. 4 verses of Gita which contain whole Gita, essence of whole Gita. So here Sai Maharaj is explaining, because he's a realized soul, he knows this point. So the Supreme Lord is unlimited, and his energies are also unlimited. No one can know them completely. Brahmaji, being the greatest living entity within this universe and being directly instructed by the Lord, must know more than anyone within this universe. Although such knowledge may not be complete, it can never be complete, but that does not mean that there is any defect in it, as I explained already before, they are beyond Maya. So there is no defect. But that reality is, transcendent reality is unlimited, so you can never say, I know everything. And that is why they are always humble, being in relation to that unlimited reality as servant. So it is quite natural for them to be always humble without any false ego. So thus it is the duty of everyone to ask about the unlimited Lord from the spiritual master in the disciplic succession of Brahma, which descends from Narad to Vyas, from Vyas to Shukadev, and so on. So there is never end. For Kumaras also, they are all the time speaking Harikatha. One person is speaking Harikatha and three others, they are listening. And then at another time, another will speak Harikatha and three others will listen. They already know everything, but still always they are hearing, because that is unlimited. So this verse from Gita, it is saying that devotees, they always they are chanting glories of Krishna among themselves, and they are getting that transcendental bliss in conversing about me all the time. Tushtam nishamya pitaram lokanam prapitamaham divarshih paripapracha bhavan yan manu prichate. The great sage Narad also inquired in detail from his father, Brahma, the great-grandfather of all the universe, after seeing him well satisfied. Tasma idam bhagavatam puranam dasha lakshanam proktam bhagavata praha pritah putra bhuta krit. Thereupon, the supplementary Vedic literature, SRIMAD Bhagavatam, which was described by the personality of Godhead and which contains 10 characteristics, was told with satisfaction by the father Brahma to his son Narad. You will find in Upanishads, when they are speaking about Brahma Gyan and process to attain it, there also it is in many places mentioned, you should not speak this knowledge to others than your sons or disciples. Means you should speak only to those who are surrendered. In general, and in previous ages, like it was natural that sons, they had respect and devotion to father. So because of that, father could teach them. Now in Kali Yuga it is different. But generally it is like that, and disciple also, one who wants to learn, he will also be surrendered. But you should not speak to those who are unsurrendered, because they will not be able to grasp it. And also, if they will get something, they may misuse or like this. So here, father to his son, Narad, will speak. Brahma also is son of Supreme Lord. Naradah praha mune sarasvatya state nripa dhyayate brahma paramam vyasa yamita tejase. In succession, O king, the great sage Narad instructed Srimad Bhagavatam unto the unlimitedly powerful Vyasadeva, who meditated in devotional service upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, on the bank of the river Saraswati. So here you have also Dhyayate Brahma Paramam. He meditated on Supreme Brahma. Atato Brahma Jigyasa and all this. Tat Vijigasa, Tat Eva Brahma. That is all in Upanishad. So by the light of Bhagavatam, you can actually understand what is meant in Upanishads and in Vedanta Sutra by Brahma. It is Krishna. Yat utaham tvaya prishto vairajat purushat idam yathasit tat upakyaste prashnan anyamscha kritsnashaha. O king, your questions as to how the universe became manifested from the gigantic form of the personality of Godhead, as well as other questions, I shall answer in detail by explanation of the 4 verses already mentioned. This is the end of this chapter. Next one, chapter 10, Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. Shri Shuka Uvach. Atra sargo visargascha stanam poshanam utaya manvantare shanu katha nirodho muktir ashraya. These are these 10 subjects. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, in the SRIMAD Bhagavatam, there are 10 divisions of statements regarding the following: the creation of the universe, sub-creation, planetary systems, protection by the Lord, the creative impetus, the change of Manus, the science of God, returning home back to Godhead, liberation, and the summum bonum. Nirodho, that is Nirodha, going back home, back to Godhead. Mukti, Ashraya. Ashraya is supreme, that is 10th canto. Summum bonum. Dashamasya Vishuddhi Artham Navanam Ihalakshanam Varnayanti Mahatmana Shrute Nartena Chanjasa. To isolate the transcendence of the summum bonum, the symptoms of the rest are described sometimes by Vedic inference, sometimes by direct explanation, and sometimes by summary explanations given by the great sages. All this is necessary so that we can understand the summum bonum as it is. Bhuta ma trendriya dhyam janma sarga udahritaha brahmano guna vaishamyat visargah paurushah smrita. The elementary creation of 16 items of matter, namely the 5 elements, fire, water, land, air, and sky. Land means earth. These are Pancha Mahabhut, 5 elements. Then you have 5 objects of the senses, that is sound, form, taste, smell, touch. And then you have the senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and the 6th one is mind. Is known as sarga, whereas subsequent resultant interaction of the modes of material nature is called visarga. So first is primary creation, the creation of the universe, then sub-creation, that is visarga. When all these 16 are made or manifested, Then how they are interacting, combining and all this, that is visargas, sub-creation. Stitir Vaikunta Vijaya Poshanam Tat Anugraha Manvantarani Sadharma Utaya Karma Vasana. The right situation for the living entities is to obey the laws of the Lord and thus be in perfect peace of mind under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Manus and their laws are meant to give right direction in life. The impetus for activity is the desire for fruitive work. That is Sadharma, that Varnashram Dharma, laws of God according to scripture. That is first stage. Avataranu Charitam Hareshchasya Nuvartinam Pungsham Isha Katah Prokta Nanakyano Pa Brimhitaha. The science of God describes the incarnations of the personality of Godhead and his different activities together with the activities of his great devotees. Nirodho Syanu Shayanam Atmana Saha Shaktivi Muktir Hitvanyata Swarupena Vyavyastitihi. The merging of the living entity along with his conditional living tendency with the mystic lying down of the Mahavishnu is called the winding up of the cosmic manifestation. Yes, that is Nirod. Before this word was mentioned. So Nirod is the destruction of this material universe, and all conditioned souls merge, means they enter into Mahavishnu when he is in deep sleep. Their karma is not destroyed at that time, but it is suspended, paused for the time being. Then when Vishnu again will start to create, then again they will be manifested, and that karma also will be the certain bodies and tendencies, all that will be created according to their previous karma. Liberation, mukti, is the permanent situation of the form of the living entity after he gives up the changeable gross and subtle material bodies. This is the proper explanation of liberation. And this meaning also you have to use in Upanishads, because by the Bhagavatam you can understand. There you will find in Chandogya Upanishad, that verse is there, when Jiva is liberated by attaining the Supreme Lord, then she will manifest her own form, own eternal form in relation to Supreme Lord. That is called liberation. Beyond these gross and subtle bodies, the soul's form, her own form, in relation to Supreme Lord, he will realize that is actually mukti, permanent liberation. Otherwise it is not. To merge in Brahma or Paramatma, that is not permanent. It is beyond this Maya, but again you will have to go down, or you will progress to devotion, fully manifest your eternal identity. Here I will read this commentary because it is important. As we have discussed several times, there are two types of living entities. Most of them are ever liberated or nitya muktas, that is 3/4, while some of them are ever conditioned. Here, ever conditioned, we have to understand. It is very difficult to understand this, nitya mukta, nitya bada. If we take in literal sense nitya bada, then there is no meaning to instruction of devotion, because anyhow they are bound. Then what is the use of engaging them in the service of Krishna to get liberation? So it means jivas are eternal. So what they are doing, they are eternally doing. From marginal position, those jivas who want to serve Krishna, they will go to Vaikuntha Golok, they will serve. But those who want to enjoy Maya, from that beyond time area, they will come under the influence of this Maya and they will get gross and subtle body. So you cannot put any start of this material time to when this happened, because that was beyond time. And how long Jiva is within this material lila of Krishna, Shrishti Lila, creation lila, also it is perpetual, it is constantly going on. And until the time Jiva will not surrender to Krishna, it will eternally do this. And there is no start, because Jiva is eternal. But still, there is start, but that spiritual start. But this we cannot understand unless through samadhi. With this mind, you cannot. You have to go beyond material time and space and see directly how this is happening, like when some eternal jiva enters into eternal golok when liberated. So how this is possible? In the same way, also eternal jiva enters into this eternal. This is also eternal lila, Shrishti lila. That is why some are nitya mukta, some are nitya badas, because wherever jiva is eternally there. But she may change her position within eternity. Change position within eternity. That is not beginning, but it is changing position within eternity. So majority are liberated jivas, they are serving Krishna. That is 3/4 of Krishna's creation, but that is also just like conceptual saying, because Vaikuntha Golok and those living entities, Nitya Muktas, they are unlimited. And jivas inside this world are also unlimited. It is not that you can measure really 3/4 and 1/4, because both are unlimited. But still, that transcendental measurement is that is majority, this is less. And there's something I had in mind but went out. So according to choice of jiva, they will be here or there. And those who are bound, they can be, after they can be liberated. The ever-conditioned souls are apt to develop a mentality of lording over the material nature, and therefore the material cosmic creation is manifested to give the ever-conditioned souls two kinds of facilities. one facility is that the conditioned soul can act according to his tendency to lord it over the cosmic manifestation, and the other facility gives the conditioned soul a chance to come back to Godhead. I remembered what I had in mind. All the events of transcendental world, all the events of Lila are eternal. This also we cannot understand by these material senses and mind, because they are temporary. You cannot understand them. All events. That is why our Gurudev told you can remember morning Lila of Krishna at any time, in the evening or any time. It is happening. It is eternal. But still, that forenoon Lila is before midday Lila, but all are eternal. They are coexisting. This we cannot understand. So, all the events of Mahavishnu, they are also eternal. That is why you will find in the explanation of Jiva Goswami, and also Srila Sridhar Maharaj spoke, that there was a question if jivas will gradually be liberated one by one, then one day it will happen that this world will become empty. So why we are not seeing it becoming empty? Because, as Jiva Goswami there answered, he gave a quote from one Purana, I forgot. Those jivas who are suspended in Susupti, not all jivas are manifested in this world. So new jivas will be created in the sense of they will get their previous karma activated, they will get that gross and subtle body. So some jivas are waiting for their karma. And the point is, there are unlimited jivas in this material world condition. They're doing karma. And there are unlimited jivas who are waiting for their karma to be created by Supreme Lord, means body. So always there will be unlimited jivas in this world, and also some unlimited jivas are in marginal position. They are also unlimited. They can choose what they want to do. It is all these events are eternal for Mahavishnu. So when Vasudev Datta Thakur, he prayed that to liberate all jivas, then Mahaprabhu did. But again, this universe is filled with new jivas. So they are coming, Srila Sridhar Maharaj explained, from that Tashta Loka or Brahma Loka here. And all this is unlimited. Krishna's internal potency and creation of internal potency, that is all unlimited. Vaikuntha, Goloka, Ayodhya, all Nrishinga, Puri, all this, everything is eternal, unlimited. And that marginal position is also unlimited. There are unlimited jivas. And in this world also unlimited material universes, unlimited jivas. Everything is unlimited of the unlimited Supreme Lord. So this we cannot understand with means of mind and intellect, because they are limited and temporary. That is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur told in Jaiva Dharma that Babaji was explaining, I gave you some hints so that you can have some idea and that you will practice properly with proper Sambandha Gyan. I only gave you some abhas, some indication. But you have to chant Harinam without offenses, and gradually all these things will be revealed in your heart. Transcendental reality, status will be revealed in your heart. Then only you can understand what I was saying about. Because words cannot fully describe, and with your understanding of these words and with this material experience, you cannot understand. So only through samadhi, then you will be able to understand why such description, how this is happening. So we cannot avoid this. We have to realize. We cannot just memorize shlokas and think we know. Or by dictionary meaning, we will know. No. You have to submit, you have to practice, and you have to get that revelation by the grace of Krishna. Then you can understand. Then also you can see why different acharyas, how there is harmony among all Vaishnava acharyas. They are speaking one and the same reality, but describing in different ways and by different words, or certain aspect without expressing the another aspect, and like this, then you can understand, then everything is in harmony. But if you try to understand by intellect and you're limited this worldly experience, then you will think they are contradicting each other. So it is all bogus. And Shastra also is contradicting each other, and like this. So those unfortunate living entities who don't have enough sukriti to have faith in transcendental, and they are not in the service attitude, if they are too much conditioned by intellect, then this will happen. They will think all contradictory, it is bogus. So they give up everything and become atheists, because they were unable to enter into realization. And from the standpoint of realization, they can then understand how this is harmonized and what is meant and why in this way. So that faith is necessary. Faith will give rise to proper practice, and proper practice will give rise to realization. Then everything will be clear. So further here Sai Maharaj is telling, so conditioned soul, they can act in this tendency to lord it over material nature, or they can get a chance to be liberated, to go back home, back to Godhead. So after the winding up of the cosmic manifestation, most of the conditioned souls merge into the existence of Mahavishnu, personality of Godhead, lying in his mystic slumber, Yoga Nidra or Susupti, deep sleep, who follow the transcendental sound, lying in his mystical slumber, to be created again in the next creation, according to karma of previous creation. So they are just like sleeping there now for the time being. But some of the conditioned souls who follow the transcendental sound in the form of Vedic literatures and are thus able to go back to Godhead, attain spiritual and original bodies after quitting the conditional gross and subtle material bodies. So this is called liberation, to attain your own form. The material conditional bodies develop out of the living entity's forgetfulness of their relationship with Godhead. We become averse to Krishna, so we want to enjoy, so we get these bodies. And during the course of the cosmic manifestation, the conditioned souls are given a chance to revive their original status of life with the help of revealed scriptures, so mercifully compiled by the Lord in his different incarnations. That is mercy of Krishna, Shastra. Reading or hearing of such transcendental literatures helps one become liberated even in the conditional state of material existence. All the Vedic literatures aim at devotional service to the personality of Godhead, and as soon as one is fixed upon this point, he at once becomes liberated from conditional life. The material gross and subtle forms are simply due to the conditioned soul's ignorance, and as soon as he is fixed in the devotional service of the Lord, he becomes eligible to be freed from the conditioned state. This devotional service is transcendental attraction for the Supreme on account of his being the source of all pleasing humors, means rasas. Everyone is after some pleasure or humor for enjoyment, but does not know the supreme source of all attraction. Rasove isah rasam hi evayam labdvanandi bhavati. This is from, I think, Taittiriya Upanishad. The Vedic hymns inform everyone about the supreme source of all pleasure. The unlimited fountainhead of all pleasure is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one who is fortunate enough to get this information through transcendental literatures like SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM becomes permanently liberated to occupy his proper place in the kingdom of God. Either by Shastra or by pure devotee, we can become inclined to serve Krishna. Then, when we complete devotion in practice and you attain awakenment of that pure devotion, then you are liberated, even while staying in this world. Then, when Krishna desires, then he will take you in your spiritual form and you will be put in lila, giving up on this gross and subtle body forever. And that lila is eternal, and that is our proper place, home, and that is permanent, and that is blissful. We can get fulfillment, and you will never lose that. That is permanent, and that is our natural. It is now waiting for us. We are inattentive to our real eternal welfare by wanting to enjoy. That is unnatural, diseased condition. By the grace of Shastra and Guru, we can attain that. But we have to practice, and when one attains that, labdvanandi bhavati, then one can be actually blissful, for which we are all hankering. We are trying to fulfill our hankering for this by material enjoyment, but it is not possible. Like it is not possible to quench your thirst in illusory phantasmagoria, that optical illusion of water in the desert. Impossible, never. So we are helpless without getting the grace of Shastra and Sadhu to get real information and to get real action, what we have to do. Abhasascha nirodascha yatostya dyavasiyate sa ashrayah param brahma paramatmeti shabdyate. So some, they think liberation means to give up this mic conditioning and merge into impersonal Brahma or Paramatma. But that is not actual permanent liberation, according to Bhagavatam, according to reality, according to Tattva. Only when you realize fully your eternal self in relation to Krishna and you become engaged in that your eternal service to him, that is only permanent liberation. The Supreme One, who is celebrated as the Supreme Being or the Supreme Soul, is the supreme source of the cosmic manifestation, as well as its reservoir and winding up. Thus, he is the supreme fountainhead, the absolute truth. So we will hear about him further tomorrow.